The stories and the news that are worth your time. Montreal Now.
Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall.
David Heurtel with you. Brenda O'Farrell is a career journalist and editor, founder of the 1019 Report, which covers the other side of the Tourtes Bridge, or what's left of it, and the 1510 West. Brenda, yesterday we talked about the Liberal Party of Quebec, and I kind of put you on the spot for today, say what would be the solutions for the Liberals to get out of the hole they've dug themselves into?
Well, my suggestion is, first of all, I think we need to put this in context. And politicians, according to my view, basically have two basic functions. They need to manage the present and govern for the future. So if you take an example of what the CAQ has been up to, in terms of managing the present, let's look at how are they doing with our hospitals? How are they doing with our schools? How are we doing with highways and bridges? At every turn, they're not doing a stellar job of managing the present. If you look at how they're governing for the future, that seems to be where their focus is, in the sense that you look at all their so-called projets de société, everything from Bill 86 to Bill 21, they
Bill
want
15.
To make sure, Bill 15, they have no respect for fundamental freedoms. They will use the notwithstanding clause at any turn to push through their projet. They are, they want to be recognized as a nation. They are, they're not trying to build coalitions. They're trying to divide society. So, in my view, that's not very productive. But they seem to be putting forward their projet de société, and they're putting all their energy not in managing the present, but basically trying to change Quebec to a view that they wanted to see it as.
Northvolt is an example.
Well, exactly. In terms of what are they doing for the economy, they're investing in foreign nationals. So where does the Liberals stand in all of this? And I think this is where if you look at it in those terms, they have failed to define themselves. Very basic things, like in terms of what would they do to manage the present. And they're not saying anything right now. And then on the second sort of volet, in terms of where do they stand in governing for the future? What is their vision? So I think that, in terms of how do they define themselves? Well, first of all, I think they have to stop reacting to everything around them and look inward and start making some bold statements to defining. And I would make suggestions such as maybe they should make it very clear that maybe they want to be the party that stands for fundamental rights. Stop defining it in terms of language rights, in terms of different community sectors' rights. Just stand up for fundamental rights, and everything else will fall into place from that point on. Maybe what they need to also do is, actually show that they have the capacity to walk and chew gum at the same time. For example, you can promote French while not attacking English. They don't have to be mutually exclusive points of view, know? So, and then, when we look to the future, when people vote, I think there's an element in what they look for is that they're looking for some sign of hope for improvement. I think that's a very fundamental aspiration.
So do you think, Brenda, they can do this without a leader?
No, I don't think you can, because you're basically saying we're going to stall until 2025. And the message there is that we're not going to offer you any hope And there's no hope in the pipeline. And I don't know anyone where you can live life. Well, I guess what it comes down to, life does not come with a pause button. You can't just say, we're not ready, so we're going to hit pause.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have to start defining themselves,
mm-hmm.
start being bold, and saying, this is what we can do many things and bring people together. And by doing that, you start giving people hope. And it also reflects, I think, what the real emotional barometer that people have. Because you go into all the regions of the province, I don't think there's no desire to attack or target English institutions anywhere. I come from small-town Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
There is no animosity out there, but in the political arena, they create it.
Yeah, because that's the wedge. That's how you scare older white francophones in the regions. Mm-hmm.
Where that doesn't give anybody hope.
No, it doesn't.
It's effective, but it's effective for what? To steamroll your view of your governing for the future aspect of it.
Right.
But by doing that, you fail to manage the present. And you look at all the situations, from crumbling bridges to teachers on strike to people on gurneys in hallways in hospitals. They are failing, beyond failing in terms of doing their job of managing their affairs or our affairs.
All right, Brenda, that's all the time I have. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Take care. Brenda O'Farrell, career journalist and editor and founder of the 1019 Report, which covers the other side of the Tourtes Bridge and the 1510 West.